All right, today we're going to break down one of the most bizarre, most disturbing stories of comedic obsession you will ever hear. It's a tale that starts with a really simple pun and ends in a mangled car wreck, all because one man was chasing what he thought was the perfect joke. Let's just dive right into this thing.
And this is the line that kicks the whole thing off. A simple observation, right? A throwaway comment that in the mind of one guy planted the seed for a universe-altering comedic masterpiece. It's the punchline that existed before the joke was even really a joke.
Now you gotta understand, this wasn't some random tragic accident. No, no, no. The story we're about to unfold is about a deliberate, calculated performance. It was the execution of a deranged artistic vision that had a horrifying and very real finale.
So you might be wondering, how on earth did these two even end up in the same car hurtling towards the cliff? Well, the whole thing started in the most mundane way possible, a simple game of golf in Los Angeles. That's where their two very, very different worlds collided.
And the dynamic between these two guys, it was completely lopsided. You've got this 58-year-old Scottish golfer described as having a hearty, kind of aggressive sense of humor. And on the other side, the famous singer Cliff Richard, polite, a bit nervous, and, as it turns out, a very, very reluctant passenger. And here's the kicker. This is the crucial part. Cliff Richard wasn't friends with this man. In fact, he kind of found him off-putting. He'd already turned him down for a ride multiple times, but he finally said yes to just one car ride, simply to be polite. It was a small act of social kindness that would end up sealing his fate. Okay, so let's get into the drive itself, because this is where things go from just an awkward car ride to a life or death situation. This is where the golfer's joke starts to take on a terrifying and very physical form. And things escalated so fast. It all starts as this dumb prank. The driver starts speeding just to scare his famous passenger. But of course, the speeding gets the attention of the cops. And now suddenly it's a full-blown police chase. But instead of stopping, the driver just starts laughing, like manically. The chase gets so intense that a tire wears out, and the whole wheel just flies off the car. And now they're grinding along on three wheels, sending sparks flying everywhere. And this quote, it just tells you everything you need to know about his state of mind, right? His passenger is terrified, the car is literally falling apart, but the driver is completely disconnected from the danger. He's not in a crisis, he's watching a show. He's narrating the chaos with this pure manic excitement. And right here, this is the moment it all changes. It's not just an improvised prank anymore. He actually turns to his terrified passenger and makes a promise. He tells him that what's coming next is going to be spectacular. The joke now has a finale, and he is dead set on performing it. And there it is. That's the exact moment he commits. He sees a barrier up ahead on the road, and his mind doesn't see an obstacle. He sees a prop. A weak-looking prop that he was absolutely convinced could not and would not stop him from finishing his masterpiece. Okay, so the big question is why? Why would anyone do this? To get that answer, we have to stop looking at the actions and start looking at the philosophy behind them. We have to try and get inside the mind of this guy and understand the twisted comedic manifesto that was driving this whole nightmare. This is so important to grasp. In his mind, what he was doing wasn't a crime. It was art. He truly believed that the perfect joke needed these three things to line up perfectly: the person's name, the location, and the extreme stakes of a police chase, all of it coming together to create this undeniable, perfect irony. Listen to this. In his own words, this is basically his artistic mission statement. He genuinely believed that there could be no purer, no more perfectly crafted piece of comedy in the entire universe than doing this one specific, horrific thing. This is wild. He was so convinced that this joke was perfect, it actually made him paranoid. He thought the opportunity was literally too good to be true. He was wondering, how could all of this line up so flawlessly? He actually thought it might be a trap. But he doesn't let that stop him. He just flips the script in his head. No, it's not a trap, it's destiny. It's the universe itself conspiring to create this one perfect moment of comedy, and he was just the lucky guy chosen to carry it out. So with the universe apparently giving him the green light, he goes for it. He aimed that disintegrating car at that weak-looking barrier and just punched it, The performance ended with the grim, very real final punchline of a car wreck on the rocks below.
And get this, as the car is literally flying off the cliff, these are his words. Not a scream, not a regret, but a calm observation. What a beautiful day. It's just the chilling contrast between the beauty he's seeing and the absolute horror he's creating. So what did the first responders find? It's just a horrifying scene. The car is completely destroyed. Cliff Richard is dead. And the driver? He's pinned inside the wreckage, with the crushed metal of the car literally being the only thing holding his body together. And he's conscious. And he's smiling. And instead of screaming for a medic or crying for help, what does he do? He immediately starts explaining the joke to the firefighters. He's desperate for them to get it, to see the irony, to appreciate the perfectly crafted comedy he just pulled off. I mean, his detachment from reality is just, it's absolute. He's literally dying, and his main thought is about his legacy. He's actually excited for his wife and kids to hear about it on the news, not so they can mourn him, but so they can finally appreciate the perfect irony he created. It's just the final chilling proof of his obsession. So, this whole insane story really leaves you with one really disturbing question. For one man, this was the absolute peak of comedy. For the other, it was the end of his life. It just makes you wonder, in the pursuit of a punchline, where is the line? And how far is too far?